All right. So I won't delay you guys too long. This is a game I have no idea what it is about, but Norimaki will take us through. Go ahead, Nori, and good luck.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Norimaki SR. It could be Senior, it could be Speedrunner, it could be Shantae Runner. Take your pick. But at any rate, I am here to play Indivisible for you all. It's a wonderful, wonderful game that came out just a couple of years ago, and it was a crowd-funded project. It's a very beautiful game, so sit back and enjoy. We're in for a long haul here, and I don't want this to go on for too much longer, or otherwise I'll have to skip a dang cutscene before I can actually start the run. So if we're ready, we'll give us a countdown.
We are. Let's go.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, so Indivisible. It's a very beautiful game. It's kind of like a game that says, hey, what if Valkyrie profile? What if fighting game? What if just intense platformer? And it just mismatches the entire thing. It's got a beautiful hand-drawn style of art for everything here. And as you can see, we're just thrust right into the action at the beginning here. So we're basically fighting the final boss, more or less. I'm just waiting for Kala to sit here and do her thing. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and just use a booster. Hadouken. She didn't like that too much, I don't think. At any rate. We're able to skip a bunch of cutscenes here, so we've just basically been transported 16 years into the future from that particular battle. And we're introduced to this beautiful young lady named Ajna, who lives a very quaint village life now at this point. It's time for some training for her, so she's got to be, in a hurry. And a little bit of rhythmic mashing here in order to kind of get as much speed as we possibly can. Platforming is very intuitive in this too. Like, I don't have to press a direction to do those wall jumps. I just have to press jump when she's on the wall. So it makes it very easy to do. All right, so we've made it to our training session with Dad here.
If it ain't broke, I'll break it.
This training is all about just blocking, so that's all he's trying to have us do. And what I'm trying to time here is the kind of a perfect block scenario. If I get the blue shield, that means I did it perfectly. If I get a pink one, I did it a little early. And if I get hit, I did it late, obviously. So I'm just trying to avoid getting smacked by Dad there. And after 5, we're good. So we're gonna... First, we had a little argument with Dad there after the training session. He went off, so we're going to have to go and try to make amends if we can. And we'll just keep dashing here. So, beautiful little sounds here. Don't mind that pillar of smoke in the background. Okay, maybe mind it just a little bit. Our village is on fire. And these soldiers have come in here, and they're causing all kinds of problems. So now, I got to face Mr. Dar here. I'm gonna, sorry, Tiagach, by the way. I have to hit this guy in the knee a couple of times, but I'm also gonna give him a few shots of the cashews.
Give up while you can.
Shut up, Dar. Okay, so I'm trying to actually put out a pattern here. Like, the knee shot isn't like the most powerful of attacks. I could be going a little bit more aggressive, but I'm doing this pattern of going down attacks on his knees just to kind of line him up for a timing scenario. So he's going to go ahead and do this, and then all I have to do is give him one more kick to the face, and boom. Now, the reason I had him do that is he pulled some rocks from the ground, and that actually powers him up because I'm about to actually get him in my party. So he's going to come with that equipped and everything. So I'm going to be able to just use that to my advantage right away here. First things first, got to get into this fight. This one's mandatory. So I have to do a couple of fights with him first. A couple of hits with him first, and then Dar decides he wants to come out and help. But with that rock thing, I can now just do a mash attack, and boom, goodbye monster. So just a really quick little bit of speed tech there just by manipulating the cycles. Okay, good, I didn't fall. Phew. We're skipping a lot of cutscenes here. We run into this person. She's the best girl in the game, don't question it. Rosmi is excellent, and she is pulled into our head in the party. Now, Ozna's suddenly just like absorbing these people. She has no clue why, but every time that she seems to meet somebody, they just get yanked into her head. And that was that little brief cutscene with the guy in that inner sanctum, basically, for her. We find Mom's axe. We've always wanted to use it. We're going to use it to great effect. All right, fight scene skip right there. Just skips a little battle with that guy, and that's what we're going to be spending a lot of time doing, is really avoiding fights wherever we possibly can. First, we got this guy in our way. I'm going to try to juggle where I can. The biggest important thing with this game is the IDI management, which is that flashing bar in the corner. And the more of that I have, the better off that I'm going to be. And then we can use those attacks to deal out some significant damage, as Dar just explained. Wow, this guy's being really nice going after the entire party like that. Goodbye, buddy.
I'll bury you. It's over.
All right, so we're just going to work our way out of the ruins here. On our way, we're going to meet these two strange characters. They're going to be teaching us about those little red crystals that you just saw floating there, and I am going to be picking up quite a few of these in the early portions of the game. There are 25 that I'm going to be picking up out of 100, and I think there's like actually 113 of them in the game. Technically 108 should be the maximum number here, but doesn't always work out that way. Good dodge. Ooh, God, that's so scary every time. This one's even worse. Nice try. I block there because just in case they do something like that, it keeps me from getting pulled into a fight with them. All right. Now this is going to be a tricky one, so bear with here. I'm going to try to bait this guy. Okay, that's the mini boss. I'm skipping him. Nobody cares. There's a slightly faster way of doing that, but it's freaking tight as heck, and I am not awake enough to try to pull that off. All right, so we're just going to keep climbing up here. We're just out to get revenge. If you're wondering why we're even... Oops. Please, Ashna, thank you. We're out to get the guy who basically ordered that attack on our village, and we're not happy. Don't you dare. Okay. Whew. First divergence. I'm going to come over here. Grab this ring soul. And now we're going to go and figure out what's blocking our path here. Obviously, it's going to be spider related, huh? You think? Possibly? I don't know. We'll find out. Axe can't cut through that. They have a little cutscene about it, and then boom, ow. It's kind of mean that they actually like give you the damage for that too, even though you won't really have a say in the matter. Ooh, nice try, Pindiar.
I'll bury you. It's over.
Using this up attack from Dar gives me a big chunk of IDI back, so that's why I'm kind of opting to use that whenever I can. And then obviously juggling does the same, so we're just trying to make sure that we're filling up our gauge again as quickly as I possibly can. Now, the one problem with using charge attack or the IDI attacks is that there is a slower reaction time for the user to recover. Oh man, I got poisoned? Oh God, I haven't seen that in a long time. Hang on. That's not good. That's what I get for not blocking properly. All right. First one, he tries to leave the screen. We just simply bait him back out.
I'll bury you.
And what I'm basically doing is just trying to push this guy through various cycles and everything. There's like certain HP triggers. Like he gets to a certain part of his HP bar, that's when Pindiar will go ahead and do to the next phase. So I've got 5. I'm gonna try to skip the last one if I can. It's not as easy as it sounds because I've got to get HP set to just the right amount before I go all in on the attack. It's something it should be easy, but it's not. But we should be getting close to his next phase here. Yeah, hopefully.
Annoying.
Come on now. Okay, spider wrangling time. So now this one's like, oh, I'm going to dump a bunch of babies on you. And we're just going to try to take them out as quickly as possible. The sooner I do that, the sooner the Monster comes back, and I can go back on the offensive here.
I'll bury you.
I need to get some stone in place for Dar, so we're actually not going to keep following up the attacks. I need to stock him up pretty big. I need him to have at least a few charges coming up here, so I'm going to try to get this HP set exactly where I want it. Okay. So I'm going to just start doing a couple of down attacks for Ajna to get this set up. Hopefully, I don't screw up here. One more, I think. Perfect. Yes, we're good. Okay, now I'm going to go all in here. Hopefully I gave that a chance. No, I missed a strike. Oh, we're not going to skip poison phase. All right, this is annoying. This is what I wanted to skip. If I'd have missed or hit that second axe strike, we wouldn't be dealing with this right now. It's not that hard to skip, though. I'm just going to be kind of stuttering my dashes here. And Pindiar is down. So unfortunately, we didn't get poison skip, but it is what it is. It's very, very tight, and you've got to do everything absolutely perfect to get it. Anyway, that person we picked up earlier, now they want us to join. We basically skipped an entire quest. You could pick up a bunch of those like flowers that we just saw at the end there throughout the dungeon. That person would have joined our party. So the party, or like the game, totally expected me to have another person there, and we didn't. Ginseng and Honey are basically a healer. And we just like, yeah, we don't need heals in this. So if you can perfect block, you don't need healing for anything. At any rate, we ran into the soldiers. They basically capture us now. And even though this guy is like a major, well, I wouldn't say a major. He's like kind of a fresh lieutenant, I guess you could say, within this army. They've thrown him in prison too because, well, he's currently tied to Ajna. And he has no idea why he's the one in trouble here, but... Alright. Just bouncing this guy around a little bit. 1, 2, 3 blocks. And one just splat. This guy's done. Nope, not quite. Now he's done. So combat's really cool in this, and the fact that each character does have a different thing that they do, whether you're pressing up or down before you trigger their pip. It's really kind of fun because you could really push off some different kind of combos and things like that. Again, I'm going to be going for juggling as much as possible, just because that generates a little bit more itty than just doing standard mashing attacks on it. All right, we get enough ring souls. These guys are like, hey, come see us. We've got a present for you. And we're going to talk to the lady. She's an offensive buff one. So she's giving us more offensive power. And you'll see exactly what that does. It's not necessarily an increase in damage per se in like the traditional regard of how a RPG functions. But what it does is it's going to give me an additional... It's going to give me an additional pip that I can use in battle. So rather than just having 2 attacks, I now have 3. I kind of... Oh gosh, that guard actually did something. Oh goodness. Okay. You're probably wondering where the heck are we? Well, right now we're very high in the air. This is actually a flying fortress of sorts. It's kind of how they transport their troops. So our escape plan was quickly stymied by going, well, we can't just go right out the window. But regardless, there's someone here that we're trying to get to anyway. Apparently the guy that actually coordinates this army and rules the land right now, he's part of this. We're going to help out our good friend Zabay here.
I'll show you my best moves, Ajna.
Do we have time for a quick word?
You do. Go ahead.
At your service.
Hey, we have a big one here. We have $500 donated.
Ooh.
That's in Canadian, so it's 400 something US.
It's still a lot.
And they say, I started speedrunning a little over a year ago, and I'm proud to be part of such a great community. Here's to a good cause. And Space Mark, please let us know in the chat to which incentive you'd like to donate that. We can split it around if you want. But yeah, with that, we reached 3,993. We're about $7 away from the 4,000. Let's make it happen.
Holy cow. Space Narc is a good friend of mine from the Shantae community, and he is an awesome, awesome dude. Thank you so much for that generosity, man. Greatly appreciated. All right, so we got a new weapon to use called the bow because of him there. We're trying to figure out how to use elevators. So apparently an axe is not the way you call the elevator. So now we're you saw me skip that one fight there. Oh gosh, there's this problem yesterday. Okay, speaking of bow, quick shot down there. That triggers him early. It allows me to get some distance, and then he just yeets me for the majority of that long stretch. So a little bit of speed tech there just out of nowhere. All right, so we just walked right into the barracks.
Don't hate me too much. I'll bury you. It's over.
I'm a little sloppy on my control here, but all right, I'm not gonna just go all out with Dar right now. I do want him to pick up one extra stone though, if I can. Oh goodness, they don't like Rosmi. Holy cow.
I'll bury you. It's over.
Smash! All right.
Blocked.
All right, you notice these shields things. Like if you go after somebody and they're blue, it means that they're ready to block any attack that you do. So that's the reason I'm like leading in with like an up attack and then following up with a down attack from Ajna. It just breaks their shield, which does double damage once you actually break their guard. So it's always important to make sure that whatever attack that you are going to use that breaks that guard is also a very strong one, because if you're getting that double damage, you definitely want to make sure that you're putting it to good use.
I'll bury you. It's over.
I am going to spend some time here to get some charges up on Dar, just really quick. And I guess I should point out the little things that appear underneath the characters when they're being targeted. So that blue spiral thing basically means I have to perfect block it, or otherwise I'm going to take full damage. It's a perfect timing thing. You kind of get used to like when the monster's official hit's going to come in to know when to hit it. It does take some getting used to. It's not that hard to master. I'd say the frame windows are pretty generous, but not always. Oh, here we go again. Oh gosh. Jump, Ajna. Oh gosh, I'm in trouble. Yeah, that's fine. That's a checkpoint right there anyway. Well, close to it. I don't know why I'm having trouble getting Ajna to jump when she's moving. We'll try that again here shortly. This game is also very generous with its checkpoints, but that's going to cost me any time that I'm taking... There we go. Hey, now you can do it. I'm going to have to keep tally. You're going to have to keep me honest on how many times that I have to restart checkpoints or things like that. All right, we made it to here. So this is Ajna's big plan. Let's cut off the power source to the flying fortress, and we'll be able to use the elevator.
Someone has already noticed.
That's the plan.
Special delivery.
Seems legit, maybe, even though Dar is very much opposed to this plan. He's still going to help us regardless because they're trying to kill him.
Look out below.
Which game does this remind you? I can't really compare it to anything. Like the platform reminds me of like Whack-A-Mole or like an indie game, but then you got the RPG elements when you get into it.
Yeah, the closest comparison that I would give this game is Valkyrie Profile, if you've ever played that. I think the combat's a little bit more in depth than Valkyrie Profile, but it's very, very much like it in that front. Okay.
That's a good comparison.
Oh, I just need to jump first instead of blocking right away. There we go. That's what I need to do. All right. Any rate, hey, guess what happens when you turn off the power to a flying fortress? It starts falling. So yeah, we're getting like a half gravity scenario here, where obviously as we... Oh, that did not work. Oh no. Oh, that's going to cost me more. Let's try that again, but this time without the dumb. I always never know what I can exactly get away with in this. It's really funny. I've been running this game since it basically came out too, and yet I make little silly mistakes occasionally, like just forgetting platforming wise what I need to do here. Also, this isn't exactly how falling gravity works, since indoors I apparently don't get the extra half gravity. Just an interesting choice there, but I guess it's more of the upflow of the wind than anything else. All right. Quick little shot here. Bow. Go. Yep. Follow me. It's fine. Whatever. You're not going to catch me. All right. So we can now use the elevator. That's pretty much what we wanted to do. All right. Now we've come to the guy who is in charge, Mr. Ravanavar. Palindrome name. Pay attention. So yeah, we're here to get our revenge. And he starts out with a shield, but any super attack like that will break it instantly. Except for one thing, on the next round, I need to be aware that he will indeed have it back. So after I'm basically destroying my pips in here, I've got to remember to set up for a shield break. If you do recognize this voice, that's one Michael Dorn from Star Trek The Next Generation fame. So they didn't go light on the voice actors here. These guys are annoying. I'm gonna get the first strike. Let's go.
It's over. I'll bury you. It's over.
So just timing everything right gives me a chance to get these 2 strikes in, basically. Oh, Ravanavar, you're being awful quiet. Normally he's trying to attack us from up there, but right now he's just kind of chilling, which is fine by me.
Bury you. It's over.
I'm gonna get more stone for preparation of the future. There he is.
Get off. Try harder.
Cool, it just that ousted them both at the same time. This is going relatively okay. Okay, now he's gonna do this really annoying thing where he adds a shield, an extra layer to his shield, which is super annoying. You can't one-shot it with the idiot attack. So I actually had to use Zabay there to kind of get rid of those little floating heads before he could even get his normal block. That's a perfect block attack, which is really hard to do. Miss it more often than I get it, which is unfortunate, but... Are you gonna talk now? No? There we go. Yeah, I figured you were back.
I'll bury you. It's over.
Almost. Nope, not quite.
Yes.
I know you like it. That's fine, buddy. He should be done here shortly. Go. Nice. Not bad.
I've seen enough.
All right, so he was basically just testing us. He's like, you have a lot of power, but I want to see just how good you are. And then once we've kind of proven ourselves, he's like, okay, I'm out of here. And then the fortress crashes in. Ajna, crazy girl that she is, she's like, oh, I'm just going to jump off this thing. And we were saved, fortunately, by that giant bird.
You won't lose your way with
And then Kushi gets absorbed in. We find out that her and Zabay work really close together. Dang it. Go. And now we're at the base of Mount Sumeru. And he's like, if you want to know more about yourself and everything, just follow me. So that's what we're doing. And this is where the platforming starts to ramp up quite a bit. So we're going to be going through a lot of sequences here. I'm going to try to skip some cycles of that are intended. As I can, and obviously just avoiding all these fights with these monsters, which a lot of them are easy, some of them are not, and also pick up a few extra ring cells that I'm gonna need here. So, oh gosh, that's bad. Achna, please. All right, I'm not gonna be getting the good cycle here. YOLO. Got it. All right. Just saved myself from having to do that from the bottom again. Not quite the quickest way I could have dealt with that, but we were Ajna's momentum, which is you're gonna hear me complain about a lot throughout this run, is a thing. She just sometimes refuses to follow commands, like charging, jumping when you want her to. And it's not really like an input lag scenario, just a thing that just happens. So, making our way right on up here. Thank you for doing that proper. Boom. Boom. Big jump. Ugh. Technically, you could hit that orange one. It's a little quicker to just do that. All right. Now they introduce these crumbling platforms. Really annoying. Here for a ring sill. Lay on it just so I don't run into the spikes too much. Oh, Ashna. Oh my goodness. No. Trying not to get into that fight. You can hit it on the approach, but I sometimes will miss. That's all right. Funny thing is we've actually despawned. There's supposed to be like a red guy here, and he's not here. Just because we either skipped everything or what. Not really sure what causes it, but he's never there except when you kill everybody. That was almost too soon. This is a fun little cycle skip here if you can do it. Perfect. All right, so just a lot of like intense platforming that goes on here, and this is the early game. You should see what well, you will see what it's going to happen later. Quicks. Oh, I didn't quite get the quick turnaround. All right. So avoided the fight. That's a little trickier to do. I was trying to get a turnaround in midair so that then when her recovery boost would actually have landed me over there. Still not too much of a struggle, so let's go. Oop. Ooh, Ashna momentum, don't you dare. She tried. She definitely tried. Whew. Always got to be ready for that. All right, I need to do a party switch coming up here.
Think we'll find something new?
I don't need the healing per se. I'm going to explain what Ginseng's actual purpose is going to be here. Because he's not the most powerful, but we caught up with Ravanavar.
No talk.
And we won his head. We took his head. And then he turned into this. What a nice guy. I used Ginseng to get rid of those little head shields, which then allows me to put the paint on this guy here. And now it's more of the same of kind of what we did in the first fight. It's like a juggle fest. Oh, good RNG. I want to see this AoE attack because when I do perfect blocks, it restores my pips. It gives me all the itty in the world, and I can just keep doing that. It doesn't always play nice, though. So I'm hoping that he will continually do that because I can push him through these phases very quickly if he does want to play nice. Yes. All right, so his trigger here is actually at the midpoint of his HP. I'm going to dip into that quite a bit. This is absolute perfect RNG that's happening right now. Being able to pull that kind of damage and almost push him basically right into the third phase is what I've pretty much done at this point. The next time we run into him, it's going to be an extremely quick instance. All right. Now we got a little bit of fireball action going on here. I'm going to try to damage boost where I can just to save a little bit of time, but I don't want to mess around with it too much. Well, that was interesting. Was not ready for that one to come around there. Okay. Recovered it. Whew. Well fought, young. All right, so this should be really quick. He's not going to play nice this time, unfortunately. It would have been ideal again to see an AoE attack here just because he would have just allowed me to really dip into what stock he's got here, but he's going to kick me out after this one. So again, quick second phase there. I would have liked to have been able to dip into his HP a little bit more, but RNG did not allow that to be a thing. Ever. Oh, okay. Good thing I didn't actually do that. Oh, this is the absolute worst. I don't know why he's been doing this lately. Come on, let me have the wedge. Thank you. Not ideal there, but it is what it is. All right, we're gonna keep going here. Fuck.
Not so fast.
A little early there. Oh, punch in the face. All right.
Will you stop running?
Yes, will you stop running? This is unfortunate, but we have a full charge of Itty, so we'll still be able to do exactly what I want to see when I do here.
It's over.
Just put the pain on him.
I'll bury you. It's over.
Oh, good. And then I'm just extremely bad at blocking. Oh, wow, that's super unfortunate. Bye, Ajna. Okay, this is kind of bad. Oh, please don't mess this up because this starts the entire sequence over again if I screw this up. If I can get a full Itty charge here instead of using it on Dar, I probably should have rezzed. I think we'll do that now. Right. That was sketchy. Whew. Well, we're fine now, but oh my goodness, that was scary. All right. Not a sub 30. That is that's not very good, but we survived it. And I didn't want to have to do all 3 phases again. That would have been very bad. At any rate, so he's like, this is what I wanted to do. He brought us here, and our fight here, he basically ticks us off, and we explode. And unfortunately, that plays right into his hands. He may have just died, but he has accomplished his mission. And we get blown off the mountain. And then a few days later, we wake up in the care of the best mom of the game, Tirani. You have to have these conversations with everyone. Tirani is just super cool. But she's like, yeah, we're not going to go anywhere. There's a huge sandstorm out there right now. We're going to be like, well, we're going to try it ourselves. Never mind. And we're going to come back in. She's going to teach us a little bit more about ourselves. So we had like a magical girl transformation of sorts. And Tirani's going to kind of help us control that power a little bit. She seems to be pretty knowledgeable for a woman her age. You find out, well, I'll explain that a bit later. But at any rate, now we have kind of a dash that turns into a charge, and I get to relax because I've been rhythmically doing that dash this entire time. So it's good to not have to do that anymore a half hour into the run. And this extra little bit of power allows us to, you know, kind of smash through things without any actual concern or problem.
Just a quick message. I'm being noted that your cursor is hovering over the game. So
Yeah.
if you can move it when you get a chance.
Yep.
If it's possible.
So?
I always forget to uncheck that in new capture setups. What, everyone doesn't like a little mouse pointer sitting on their gameplay?
I will say, this game looks so gorgeous that I didn't even notice it myself.
I tend to just completely get immersed in what I'm doing, and it just kind of gets overlooked. Okay. Interesting. I don't like the position of this guy. Okay. Trying to avoid getting pulled into a fight here. It's kind of like hit or miss on whether or not you will with that wolf. I am prepped if it did happen. Fortunately, it didn't, so that means I get to save all of my itty for something much more important later. Bad doggy. These wolves are the absolute worst too in casual play because they just sit there and they summon each other non-stop unless you can get them all in one shot. All right, so we've been going through this desert. We happen to come across somebody who's just parched. She is just out of water. Fortunately, Tirani is made of water, so useful. And then she becomes part of our party. Kadira is really nice early addition. Okay, Dar, you're supposed to be there, and Kadira, you're supposed to be there. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna pull her in right away. She's actually super useful. There's a term that we use in the rather small speedrunning community around this of batteries. That's what we kind of call them. So it's all about itty generation. This entire run is nothing but itty, 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 this, itty, that. So having anyone who's really good at helping to generate itty is obviously the ideal person to have. Kadira actually is halfway decent at it, despite, you know, kind of like what her premise is. She's very quick to regenerate her attacks for somebody who just uses a shield. And yeah, technically she's a tank of sorts, so you wouldn't think that a tank would be really useful on that particular front, but you'd be surprised. Okay, pause there. Shoot this thing off screen. Didn't like the positioning of those guys, but we saved me a little bit of time by doing that. Boom. Boom. I'm using the arrow basically to just get some of these guys out of my way so that I don't have to be pulled into a fight with them. 2. Oh, wow, I didn't get the first one. Wait, what? Boy. There we go. Goodness. That was poor aim on my part, I guess. I got these really nifty wind puzzles here that you're just using these arrows for in order to kind of progress things through. Do not like those guys. They give you this big old hug and they really annoying when they do. All right, wind puzzle here. Aim high, aim low. Let's go. 1 2 3 4. Boom. All right, 3 arrows, Nori. 1 2 3. You hit, you can shoot the 4th one, but it makes that last shot right over there difficult, so then you can just finish off with 1 2. We're just moving this giant worm out of the way. It's really annoying. It's there, but it keeps blocking our path. Go out on our way for a couple of rings here. Bad doggy. And shoot. Got it. Don't worry about that, Ajna. We'll find out soon enough. Okay. I'm glad that platform respawned when it did. Casual sliding, because why not? I like to zoom in there for some reason. Camera constantly dynamically moving like that is always a fun little thing. Right. Walk off here, duck, and boom. All right, nice. So, we're almost kind of out of here. It's funny because they make us go in this gigantic loop, right? We ended up in that giant chamber. We got to figure our way through these ruins, no problem. It is kind of a problem in the fact that this worm is taking us on this huge freaking escapade through here. And all we're really doing is kind of looping around. 1, 2. Oh, that's early. Okay. Trying not to bonk too much here just so I can get around those corners a little bit better. Bad doggy. This worm, as we're chasing it, just gets more and more annoying. And one more bad doggy for good measure. Okay. So now you'll recognize this area. We were here earlier. We're almost done with this section. So there's that guy that was in the middle there. He's kind of controlling this worm. So he's been kind of really annoying us with that. And all we've done is a full circle. I think it's time we give him a little payback for making us do that. So this guy is really annoying, but this is why I pull Rosmi in. Down, please. Thank you. Wow, Ajna, good aim. Good aim.
Annoying.
This guy is really annoying. He's very quick. I want to make sure that I just get all of my itty back as soon as possible. It's way early. I'm going to be punished on that one. Dang it, I didn't get my down attack. Oh, that's gonna be bad. That's fine. Oh, God, that attack is so quick. I'm never ready for it. One, two, three. One, two, two. Down. That's why I want to get Rosmi close with a down attack first before I launch that, because you get the extra damage of the fire going up and then again when coming down. Meanwhile, he's just going to teleport back and forth here, so we got to constantly chase him down. At least we get some free damage when we run into him, which is nice. Where are we at here? 1, 2, don't get too greedy. Dang it. Okay, it's whatever. Don't think this will be enough to kill him. No, definitely not. He's got more HP than it looks. All right, so one more round of this and he should be done. Done. All right. Not terrible. Unskippable cutscene here. He's just like, oh, I'm not quite finished with you yet. I'm going to try to summon this worm one more time. He's like, where is it? Oh. Rip. So, you control the sandworm, but only so much, apparently. And now that we're no longer blocked, we can actually head on out of here. We've had enough of sand. It's everywhere. Nobody likes it.
Unless it's at the beach.
It is at the, yeah, but we're in a desert, not quite the beach. All right, so just some basic platforming here. We're going to be heading off to our next destination. Mainly what we're looking for story-wise is a port. There's really only one real port. Excuse me. My voice is having some real troubles right now. That's Port Marifa. We're going to head into what us in the community affectionately call Backer Town. So again, this was a crowd-funded project, so a lot of people have submitted things like their OCs that had a certain price, you know, a thing. And you're going to just see a lot of weird characters in the background here. It's mainly a bunch of backers and their OCs. So yeah, interesting art happening. A lot of different character choices. You'll see some other throwbacks to other games throughout here. Not anything significant, but the occasional one you might recognize here and there. I'm gonna get annoyingly stopped by this lady. She's just like a fortune teller. She goes, you know, I sent something with you. I want to go with you. Sure, whatever. Not too concerned about that right now, but enjoy this beautiful view. It's actually a wonderful background and stuff like that. All right, so we find out that the port is being stopped by the Iron Kingdom, a neighboring kingdom that is basically starting to get rather aggressive to everyone around it. So it's kind of like trying to take over various cities, and they're currently trying to occupy this place. They currently do have somewhat of a control of it, but we're told that, hey, maybe if we go see, you know, the Tower of Wisdom, that we'll be able to find another way of dealing with things. So we're going here. You might recognize that woman on the right, Ongru.
My baby.
She was in the opening sequence as an age today.
I'm part of Kala.
But she's explaining to Ajna that you are actually part of Kala, but you don't seem to have like Kala's biggest issues. So I'm going to teach you how to open up these chakra gates.
Excellent. The Iron Kingdom.
And now she's going to tell us where others are located. So we're like now on a mission to do that. Again, we still don't have a boat, so that's a bit of a problem. Even though we're in a port town, we need to find somebody who's got one. What better place to find a sailor than at the bar? So we're going to be given a free spear by this particular pirate lady, and she's going to join us.
Welcome to my crew.
Outside is quite the character. I highly recommend that, you know, anyone playing this game, they definitely deal with the dialogue. There's just a lot of really good storytelling that happens in this. But I'm going to pull in Tirani here just because, again, batteries being what they are for IDI generation. And Tirani is one of the top tiers of being able to just help us get our IDI back. She also does some decent damage, too, on her own. Caught me off guard there. Nice. Good kill. But now we've kind of tipped the soldiers off, or the soldiers are like, oh, you're consorting with criminals, so now you're in trouble. So now we got to worry about some soldiers along the way here, but just going to platform our way back, trying to avoid these fights wherever possible. It's usually just a stop and go. In earlier revisions, the earlier patches, once we got the spear, we actually had full range of the spear's capabilities, but they did patch that pretty quickly after it was discovered that that was a thing. So unfortunately, we actually do have to kind of come to a halt in our movement in order to avoid getting into those fights, but we used to be able to just spring right over them. Sorry, boys, those shields aren't going to help you now. Okay, now they are. Oof, okay. Whew. Those are 2 rapid fire shots I had to block, and they both have to be perfect. And I didn't see who was being targeted. One, two, up. Hate having to use 2 supers for this, but that was really annoying. It's going to put me in a rough spot for this start of this guy, but it won't be that bad. We can still make this work. So, Tirani has double function. She can be a healer or a damage dealer, depending on what you do. What I'm doing with these splashes is every time I do that, it puts a puddle on the ground. And then with the following up attack, it'll determine whether those puddles become healing pools or damage pools. Mainly, I'm going to be using more on the damage side of things, but it really is just a matter of who touches it. It's not ready for that. So I usually like to get about 5 attacks. Usually gets the most out, or like the maximum that she can use without like despawning others, because there is a cap on how many are there. Better. So this should be popping open soon. There it is. Just getting Rosmi up nice and close there to actually get out that extra damage. Darn. Usually want to see Rosmi get kind of targeted there for that particular one, just because it's an easy attack to get all my pips back on, but it doesn't always happen. 1, 2, up. And that's easy. Done. Nice. All right, so Baozi is going to teach us a little trick with the spear. So now we are able to actually spring off of it and do that to get to her ship. Teatol. Wonder why it's called that. It's kind of a mix of a few different like historical makes. But anyway, she's like, I am more than happy to help you out since you got my ship back, and so we are gonna get the open seas, and now we got the open world. First destination is Iron Kingdom, which is nice. But now we've kind of gotten, I guess you could say we've got a little bit of free reign. However, the game will block you in a number of places. So the routing right now basically has us coming here first to pick up one particular skill. And then as soon as we get that skill, we're going to be making our way elsewhere. Watch out for these little cog rats. They are the most annoying things in history. Easy to dodge, but if you get pulled into a fight with them, you just won't have a good time. here. Oh, Ashna killed her own momentum. Happens all the time. Pausing for a second there. Oof. Okay. God, that thing scares me every time it does that. Oh, too slow. Try this once. Made it. Nice. Not really quite what they intended, but hey, if you can pull it off, why not? Let's go for it. All right, so we're finding out more about the Iron Kingdom while we're going through here. Apparently their leader is like, yeah, we're going to war. We're taking over the entire world. They need our guidance and direction. We only care about our wanted posters. Beautiful art rendition there. If anyone's a JoJo fan, that Ashna painting is beautiful. You pick up this old man. He is by far like just you'll see why I like him so much here relatively soonish. I don't want to spoil the surprise for him yet, so I just say it's very important that we picked him up.
You only have a moment, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just gonna be taking out this soldier.
Perfect. I just wanted to mention that we've reached the $4,000 mark. Oh, woohoo! Thank you very much to Eagle Eye Jones for that $6.96 USD, and it says 4K now. I guess we're gonna have to bump that bar up even more. You guys are way too generous. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been amazing how much you guys have raised in the amount of time that this has been open and live. So doing it for a wonderful cause. Thank you for everyone that's donated thus far, and keep it going. Let's keep that train rolling.
And Eagle, make sure to let us know where you want that donation to go as an incentive. Thank you much.
All right, so now that we're back, you'll notice that I've got a new ability for movement here. That little like spinning corkscrew spring. That little thief that we ran into there after taking out that soldier, she saw it. Ajna's like, hey, I can do that too. And so we're going to do it a lot. That was what we needed to get from here in order to kind of really do anything. If we were to try to go further in there, we'd find out that we're still not able to get through this particular area. So we just wanted to pick up that ability just so we could come here. And every time we're doing these traversing, like Ajna's hearing this voice in her head that's very doubtful and not really very confident. It's kind of asking like, who is she? Who am I? What's going on? So we're not 100% sure. We're not really talking to anyone about it at this point. It's kind of there. And we're now in what I like. I think this is one of my favorite areas. Oh, that was unfortunate. No. Oh, wow, she kept momentum there. I was not ready for that to be a thing. Canul is a beautiful area. I love the music here. Very calm. There's a lot of thorns and like insta-kill spikes everywhere. But, you know, other than that, I think it's a really good atmosphere. All right, big spring here. So holding it down actually does charge it up just a bit. If you do like a really quick one, it'll just be a little short hop, but you can charge up a bigger one like that. But we're looking for the people here and finding out that they're not to be found right now, and it's quite interesting.
Incinerate.
Oh, almost the one cycle there.
Nice try.
Please die. Thank you. When we get here, we're running into one of the local denizens. Her name is Nuna. She is the best bench, and she will always be the best bench. I won't ever dispute that. She's like one of the few characters in the speedrun that we have to pick up, but we don't ever utilize. She just doesn't have any real use or purpose for what she's capable of doing. So we just call her the bench because that's where she spends all of her time. All right, so what she does tell us here, though, is that the queen is apparently like trying to kind of lock her people in. And we're like, you know, that doesn't sound like a very nice thing for the queen to be doing. So maybe we should help you out with that problem. And then we get this little, you know, the kind of the fun part about this is these water blocks, because they allow you to basically just refresh jumps instantly. We're going to use that to go very quickly. Watch out for that stupid bird. Or harpy, I guess you'd call it. We find our way in finally to the kingdom. And again, she's just locking her people in, but it's a very nice area. We find out the queen is all the way at the bottom of this place and hiding behind totems and stuff. There goes the local sports legend.
Why do they always...
Rosmi asking the most important question. If they want to fight, why do they always choose us to go elsewhere? Why can't they just do it right there? Maybe it's because they didn't want the people involved around there. We have the Royal Vizier, Zizi here. She's gonna run off and tell the queen, oh, we've got invaders. This is bad. But
Prepare yourselves!
these two will try to stop us. Try to, being the optimal word here. Although this fight can sometimes go extremely rough, so I'm hoping that it won't.
Get off. Annoying.
Kalachi baller. Oh, goodness. Oh, this is bad. Okay. Thankfully, it was early. All right. Big combos. Okay. I was ready for you this time, you jerk. Okay, that's a new one with the patch, like the most recent patch. Don't know how to defend it. They just go in there, they kind of like, hey, it's time to switch party or switch things up a bit. And you can't seem to block it. At least I have not found a way to actually block it. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's annoying. But doesn't matter. Still not a big fan of Rosmi's attacks. So we're going to use that super. And obviously, as they take more damage, they get a little bit more trickier to deal with. But not that big a deal. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, thank you for attacking Rosmi. Dang it. That's my fault. That's fine. They're down. Whew. At least that happened late. If that happened early, that would have been a big problem. The timing on some of these attacks is so difficult. All right, so we now are going to try to figure out how we break these totems, get access to where the queen is. So we've got to backtrack just a smidge here. And this new skill that Tarani taught us is going to come in big use here. So rather than just hitting things with arrows, we can actually use it to turn them into plants, more or less, and we're able to do platforming off of them once we've done that. So it's a really nice skill to have. Try a damage boost strat here. Okay, didn't quite fail it, didn't get it the way I would like to 90% of the time, but at least we didn't eat the insta kill spikes. Ouch. Thank you, game, for not giving me my momentum. All right, hopefully I have not missed any ring cell. I don't believe I have. But we're going to find out very shortly. I'm trying to get to 20 right now. If I get 20, that'll be great. If I don't, I've got a backup plan for that, but dang it. There we go. Thank you, Ashna, for doing what I asked you to do. We got to go all sorts of ways here to be able to find all these things. So we're going to be going back and forth, around in circles. All of that fun stuff while we avoid fights, obviously.
Does that mean it's a good time to plug a dono?
This is a perfect time to plug anything and everything you need, because it's literally me going around doing this.
All right, perfect. We have a $5 donation from Destructor with no message. But thank you, Destructor. Very much appreciated. And let us know in the chat if you'd like to associate it to an incentive. And while we're at it, since we do have the time, according to Nori, just reminding everybody that while we are playing these awesome games, it is to raise funds for the Canadian Cancer Society. Even though in these hard times of COVIDs, these cancer stuff hasn't stopped. It hasn't taken a break, so it's still a cause that is close dearly to many people, and everybody is affected by cancer one way or another. So definitely consider it a great cause if you're thinking about donating. And also, we do have prizes. So for every $5 that you donate, in any amount of donations, doesn't have to be a single one, you will get a ballot for a chance of one of 2 parlor sets of Game Over Cancer players. And if you donate at least $10, you'll get a ballot for a chance at the Ubisoft Price Pack, which has a couple games and a lot of cool stuff that you can see on the screen in between the game. All right, so thank you so much. And by the way, this soundtrack to me is so much variety and a good vibe.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what you think.
the soundtrack is the OST for this game is absolutely massive. There are so many tracks. I was actually surprised. I mean, I did back this game when it was announced, and so I got like the OST and all kinds of art books and stuff. The OST for this game is something like 50 tracks, so you can imagine just how wide and diverse it is, and very thematical. This is one of my favorite themes. It's super calming and relaxing, and I just really enjoy my time every time I come here. Okay, 19 ring soul, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Again, I'm trying to get to 20. All right, so now ZT is trying to get in our way and keep us from kind of progressing. She knows what we're up to. She wants to stop us from being able to do it, but we're beating her to the punch. Hopefully I did everything. I did. Okay, good. Nothing feels worse than trying to go down here and you're like, hey, I still need one more. It's like, oh, where did I forget one? And then you have to kind of backtrack on yourself. We're going to be navigating our way down here, finally having access to where the queen is. Right, last ring soul, probably the most difficult one for me on this for some reason. And I missed it. Of course I did. It was marathon. There we go. Second try. I'll take that. Let's go. All right. So we got our 20. I'm going to use that very shortly, but what I needed it for is yet another attack increase. So we're going to pop into our inner realm here really quick and go talk to our offense lady. You can use them for defense, but there's really just no point. And a quick party change. So we're going to bring in Latigo and Kadira. And now you're going to find out why Latigo is best boy. Very, very awesome. And he's pretty much almost like our Itty is actually in a really good spot too. So I'm actually not going to complain about this.
Enough.
All right. Quick two charge here. Gives this guy some blue bullets. And if you'll notice, or if you took a quick notice of the damage he just did, you'll notice that those bullets kind of dragged through the boss rather than just hit singularly. And we're going to use that to great effect. I'm going to try to buffer up to get my level 3 here. And then mash away on a level 3. So Latigo's a bit busted, and I never realized this in my playthrough at all. My casual playthrough, I didn't like his style, so I was like, I'm never going to use this guy, and I never did. Oh my goodness, my eyes opened after I learned about the speedrun strats. Now I can never see myself not using him. It's actually really good. I'm buffering her out pretty good at the moment. I just canceled an attack from her. I think that's funny. I didn't even know you could do that until now. All right, I'm just going to keep her buffered. I'm trying to keep her from doing a very big time-wasting attack where she basically goes into a shield, flies around the top of the room, and launches lightning at us while we absorb Itty. It's really silly, but it's a huge time waste, and if I can keep it from being a thing, that would be ideal. Where are we at here? Oh no, I did that too soon. That's fine. I'll just recharge it. 2, 3. I wasn't sure if we were going to make the 3 or not, so I thought I'd try it, but we didn't quite get there. It's actually really good buffering. Goodbye, lady. She's done. Easy enough. So it's funny about that attack is it's one of the few where mashing actually does increase the damage. Normally, your mashing has nothing to do with it. And in this particular case, for whatever reason, that one attack, if you mash, you get more out of it.
Well, you're free.
At any rate, we've stopped the queen from sealing people in. The people are free. We hope that that's the right thing to do, at least for us right now. That's what we feel is the right thing to do. But I don't know. Actions sometimes have consequences. But we've got to navigate our way out of here, so we're going to do that. This is a little bit more backtracking as we got to get back to the docks. ZC at the end of that scene, oops, that was not the one I wanted to hit, thank you, is in a bit of trouble. She didn't stop the invaders from coming in, and even though we've stopped the queen from doing what she was trying to do, I feel like we've done the right thing. I think there's a little part of the way the story is told that you just don't feel 100% good about what you've just done. But Ashna doesn't really care. She's very bullheaded that way. We're like, you know what? I don't care. I got the chakra gate that I wanted, and we're all fine with it. Party doesn't necessarily agree with her on that front either. So she's a bit of odds with everyone that she's currently kind of got with her at this point. But they're like, you know what? You're the boss, obviously, since she's the one toting them around in her head. So they will go along with it even if they don't agree. My favorite platforming here. Oh, that was wrong. Let's try that again, but proper. I somehow missed it on my first one. No. All right, so ZC wants revenge. She has been outcast by the queen, and she's not happy about it. Probably rightly so. Ooh, Ladiko, do you have a bullet? Should I go crazy here? Oh, you do. Okay. Sometimes I gotta check and make sure that he's actually still loaded with that singular blue bullet because I'm still able to get the big attack off. The block. That's the toughest one to block, actually. So it's very important I leave that one blue bullet in the chamber every time. That's really what triggers that particular one. You can spam it out, but you won't be able to get the same damage out of the level 3 without having that one blue bullet. So you always want to make sure you keep one in the chamber for that. And then the last one obviously is reserved for story reasons. We won't be seeing that. That's a completely different side quest that doesn't have any bearing on our purposes today. All right, so we leave, and now we're going to go off to Taikrung City. And we find out that this is the home of Ginseng and Honey. This is where they are from. Currently, there's a huge drug problem happening right now. Tarani is like, I need to heal these people, or try to at least, but it's taking a lot out of her to do so. Where's going? All we know is that there's a chakra gate here, and that's really what we are here for. So let's try to do that. This is a little bit less on the backer town motif. There are a few OCs around and whatnot. Also, if you remember, that guy was in the floating city that we crashed. Somehow he survives, and we're just going to go ahead and pick him up here. Meanwhile, ninjas. They're terrible. We're being pestered by this one in particular who's like springing these traps. And we're now by necessity having to learn a new skill with the spear. Just pogoing. To get us over these electrified things.
Look out below.
I had one in there. I don't know why I did that, but this will make this really quick then. It's fine. We're set up for future. So we meet Ginseng and Honey's mom and dad. They're kind of giving us the scoop on what's going on. So this product called Oma is normally something that's used by like fortune tellers and mystics. But it's now being mass produced and being distributed by a guy named Mara. Okay, didn't want to work. That's fine. Backup strat. Trying to do a little thing around these corners with the spear, but it doesn't always want to cooperate. Any fans of Dive Kick in the house? Anyone even knows what that game is? Boz there at the door. He's a bouncer, and he's like, "You can't come in here. You're way too young." So we're like, "But I want to go in," and he's like, "No way, no ID, oh no can do." So he's doing his job very well. We're like, "Fine, we'll find another way then." So that's what the purpose of this little trek is. Let's try to do that again. There we go. Little nifty trick around the corner. Just saves a little bit of time over like using the axe to pull yourself up. Meantime, we're just going to be dodging everything and taking the scenic route. So that skill that we picked up in Canool is going to come in great handy here. Go. Nice try, ninja. All right, so we're finally going to catch up with this jerk who's been launching these traps at us. Going to teach us a new skill. Why the guy trying to kill us is trying to teach us new skills, I'll never know. Actually, no, it's not really that way. It's more like Asha just comes up with these on the fly. It'd be nice if she did it a little bit sooner, but, you know. You know, he's highly amused and having a lot of fun playing with us. Ooh, 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 that was close. Really trying to avoid these fights if at all possible, just because that's not how that works, Nori. Try that again. Well, speaking of weirdness, so we got some weird flying guy here, and then this guy just suddenly shows up behind us and scares the bejesus out of us. Apparently he's the local superhero, kind of like their Batman. Oh, wow, that was not cool there, good Garuda. Wow, Nori, what are you doing? Hang on. Nice! Okay, good. Skipping a cutscene there just saves a little bit of time. The tricky part is that if you don't do this proper and you skip a cutscene too effectively, it actually gets stonewalled at the end of this. So I believe I saw him go. It looks like the next one triggered the way it was supposed to, so we should be fine. It's the most annoying when you get to this part and then this cutscene doesn't happen. And you're like, what did I do? And then you skipped it a little too efficiently. So it's really annoying when that happens, but glad that we didn't run into that today. And now we've made it our way into the club here. Very good music. Enjoy this hype jam here. I'm going to be doing some platforming for a bit, dodging more monsters. Until here. Now the ninja's like, okay, it's about time I actually took you on. So, unfortunately for him, it'll probably be the last thing he does. Thought you had it. So it'll be more Latigo. It's hard to predict which one he's doing. He can do one of two things there. He can swing and do that AoE, or he can do a long shot that goes all the way to the back row. And you just kind of guess. All right, more bullets. He's just laying traps, which is fine if he wants to. He wants to do that in front of Latigo. I don't really care. It's mainly because Latigo doesn't actually advance forward unless I tell him to. But there's no need to. Okay. That's a bit of an issue. That's really an issue. Be a deer. Get that out of my way. Thank you. I hate doing that to poor Kadira, but he didn't leave me any choice. Perfect. I am set up now for the upcoming fight. So again, IDI management, very important. Right now, I've got Latigo all ready to go with his big super and a level 3 to launch it right away. That'll be... Oopsies. Ooh. Pay attention, Nori. Be kind of good here coming up, although it's really annoying because like right now I've got this little kind of know-nothing soldier to get through first. So it's unfortunate that we're going to have to waste a little bit of time just getting through this particular guy. I think ideally I'd want to be set up like right after this fight. I don't want to use him because if I do, I've got to do everything from the beginning. And that would be annoying. The good news is it's just that guy I have to worry about. I don't care about who he calls. Oh, by the way, I hope you guys weren't hungry. Goodbye, dinner. But there's always room for Jello. Because that seems to be the only thing that would survive that barrage. So we're chasing down Mara here. And Garuda Cruel is working for him. He's also got Tirani. Or had Tirani till this particular point. We've at least rescued her. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Hellkith. All right, really quick, nail this guy before he gets away. And then just let him have a nice taste of bullets. Nice health bar you had, bro. Ideally, I'd like to keep him from getting away if I can, so I'm going to try to do that, but no, he did. Nice try, buddy. Nice fight. Actually went really well. Coming in fully charged and ready to go definitely makes that go a lot quicker. So we've taken him out. Now we've got to chase Mara, who's just went into hiding in the basement here. Fortunately, the elevators will get us there quickly. What? Indeed. Yes, we're going to take your chakra gate, and we can see what's going on with the Oma production here. Don't really care, to be fair. We're just here for the gate. Right? That's not going to be a problem or anything. In the meantime, this guy looks like he needs a massage. Look at that pain. Like, the pain is so thick, it's just oozing off his back. She did try to heal him there. He had a very adverse reaction to it, unfortunately. We do find out that she's one of them. Oh, by the way, back rub bot. Look at this guy. He's ready to go. Another satisfied customer. That was a heck of a back rub. So again, Tirani not too happy. She knows that there's still this huge Oma addiction problem. There's a lot of people very addicted to it. The city is not really in a good space. Ajna, don't really care. I got what I wanted. We're out of here. So even though that Tarani's not happy with that, she's going to be like, well, again, you're driving this bus. So I guess we'll go along with whatever you say. And the biggest reason, though, obviously, is that we're finding out that Kala is kind of awakening, and we really don't want that to happen. She's the destroyer of worlds for a reason, and we don't want her to do that. So it's more important that we deal with that threat than anything else. That said, we're finally looping back here. You know, it's been a while. We came here for that one skill, and then we just kind of did everything else. But now it's time that we actually come here and deal with this. So again, Iron Kingdom. Kind of the up-and-coming takers of the world. And the only thing, again, that we care about, there's a chakra gate here. Alright, this one's going to be the fun part. I'm going to be trying to do a huge sequence break. And if I screw it up and have to reload the checkpoint, it takes me all the way back to the dock. So I'm going to hope that that doesn't happen. So bear with while I focus. Oh, that's too low. Darn it. Okay, this is going to take a minute. The last patch adds this whole like mechanic where monsters have this burst out effect, and it gives them iframes for literal years. So I have to kind of do this setup from the beginning again. That's better. That's where I want them. So I'm using this guy to kind of sequence break here. We aren't supposed to be able to go this way, but when the game giveth, we taketh away. Okay. No, Ashton, please. Just thank you. Corners are the bane of my existence in this game. There we go. All right, so we've just kind of really made a lot of headway here. Instead of going through things and around and back and forth, we just kind of said, you know what, we're just going to skip right to the roof the way that we want to. And we run into our little thief pal. And she's like, I'm going to help you guys because I'm the local Robin Hood. And I steal from the rich and give to the poor. And here's a way to sneak in. So we're going to do that from the ceiling. Don't need to do anything here other than this, and that. You know? And using our culmination of skills that we've done allows us to just, again, skip through everything that this wanted us to do in the initial. All right. Almost to the roof. So, of course, they're going to have guard, as they always should. Did you carry a bullet from that last fight, Latigo? That's what I need to know. You did not. Had to take a quick check on his inventory just to make sure, so I knew what I was doing there. Now you're going to notice that damage has been escalating quite a bit, as so is these HP pools. These soldiers are surprisingly beefy. And they take a heck of a pounding, which is annoying. This is why it's good to have somebody like Latigo and the ability to do this, because you spend a long time trying to kill these guys otherwise.
Special delivery.
Well, getting Latigo set up here, not necessary. We're actually going to be doing a lot of spam attacks here shortly. It's funny that I mentioned like how the HP pools have gotten beefy, and then they're going to throw these things here. So we end up in the attic and we're like, okay, what the heck is this robot guy? And he's like, I need a little repair assistance. So Ginseng happens to know how to repair robots suddenly, even though it's quite the herbalist. We got to go around finding parts. And these little freaking mice have them all. So we're going to try to take them out. Well, the ones that actually matter. So we're gonna be skipping the ones that don't and just quickly getting to the ones that do. Again, these fights with these things rather annoying, so I'm trying to avoid at least the ones that actually have HP to their name. Nice.
Do you have time for a donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we got $10 from Racodactylus. There's no message, but thank you so much, Racco. They've chosen to donate it towards River City Games. Picking Misako as the character.
You picked Misako, you say?
Yeah.
Yes. I see that you too are a man of culture.
Let's see, where are we at? Misako is now winning by $30, 280 to 250. So Kyoko's not out of the game, but looks like we got some favorites tonight.
My speech.
Kyoko was winning by $50 at some point.
Yeah, I saw that last night when I went to bed. It's all about Misako, and that's all everyone needs to know. So definitely donate for Misako. Get that going. All right, so we repaired that robot's speech module. He's like, yeah, there's things going on here. I don't know why it was stuck in the attic. If you remember from the beginning of the game, that was the robot from the final fight there that happened at the beginning. So, oh, we didn't make the cycle almost. So he's like, I don't know what's going on with Queen Mary. I still love this kingdom and everything. Could you go and try to figure out what's going on? Even though they stuffed him in an attic, like in an old piece of archaeology or, you know, museum stuff, more or less. We're like, yeah, sure. We'll take a peek and see what's going on. We want that shocker gate anyway. Oh, man, that turnaround is so rough. There we go. Okay. I don't know how I didn't take damage there. I'm surprised. That was weird. I got shot like point blank. That should have hurt. All right, we get here, and our friend Kodpan is working for the enemy. We became a battery for this giant robot, and we're like, nope, not happening. Not happy. All right, quick party switch. This is a completely different dynamic here. So you think that it was going to be second verse, same as the first here. This one's a vastly different fight, and we have to be very cognizant of that. So we're going to pull in our big other powerhouse in Rosmi. If you'll notice, there's a lot of vertical hitboxes going on here. So we're trying to take advantage of that and also do just a lot of AoE kind of strikes and damages and things like that. So that's kind of the plan here. Kushi is kind of my battery for this fight. Although she's not very good at it because she is super slow. And this fight is very strange in that it's not always allowing you to generate itty either. It's really silly. I came up with this strat on my own just as a way of dealing with it. I'm not a big fan of the strat, but it seems to get the job done. And that's kind of what's important, I think. Right now, I want to make sure that I've gotten this open and have Rosmi do some more damage here. And I'm going to bring Kushi down again. So at this point right now, the itty generation is no longer going to be required. It would be nice if I get it just to have Rosmi do one more super. Pause buffer accidentally didn't work. But we'll see if it actually does work out that way. In the meantime, now Kushi is going to be using the bird, kind of with this vertical hitbox structure. There we go. That's better. But you just notice the itty generation just really isn't happening here. So this is where the fight kind of slows down, unfortunately, but it's just the way it works. There might be a better strat, but it would have to play around with a lot of the other characters to really figure out what would be the best plan. But at least we're getting the damage out, and that's really what matters. And unfortunately, the attacks don't work the same way if you do less itty. So there we go. So the king is in there. Or what's left of him. On his dying wish, he really wanted to make sure that, you know, his kingdom took over. As we take out Moloch there, all of a sudden this pink slime ooze just comes right out of him, starts just polluting the entire city. And we're grossed out by it, but again, not our problem. Chakra gate, and we are out of here. So we're like, we need to make a hasty retreat. And Balthazar's like, I used to run supplies and smuggle them through the city. So we're going through the sewers. That's a wonderful cutscene that happens back there. I think it's very hilarious. So again, if you play this casually, definitely enjoy that cutscene that occurred back there with the sewer escape. All right. In the meantime, we've got to get out of here. So we're going to use, you know, this pink slime to our advantage to kind of springboard out of here. A lot of this was already here. So we're just taking the same escape route that we took. That whoa, hey, careful! Didn't want to land on him. That would have triggered a fight. We're just gonna take the exact same route out of here that we did the last time, but with a little stop in between. We're gonna go ahead and pick up this wonderful little girl. She smells the fish, and that's all you need to know. You will see what she's about later. I have developed a strat for a fight later that's a royal pain. Probably the one I'm really scared of the most in this run.
We took care of that faster than I...
So Balthazar's like, yeah, we took care of that a lot faster than I expected. And yeah, I mean, the party again is like, still don't feel like we've done the right thing anywhere that we've gone. And she's like, I don't care. We've got to stop Kala. So that's what we're going to be doing. In the meantime, we've got to go back and kind of report in with Ongwu. So we're heading back to the Tower of Wisdom. And we'll be getting our access to things. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Go in. There we go. So Ongwu's like, well, okay, that happened a lot faster than I expected as well, but here you go. Access to the chakra realm engaged. So now we have access to this. And she's like, you know, we can go ahead and go to Lon if we want to. I'd highly recommend you not. So the game is basically insinuating, hey, you know, go explore, go do things. There's a big world out there. And we're like, nah, we're going to go ahead and go this way. So we're going to pop in here and work our way up from the basement. That guy was surprised. He's like, I thought this was just duty. And we're like, no, there's the functioning gate here. We're basically seeking audience with Zabe and Kushi's leaders, and they're like, you know, we got to have a conference first. We can't just let you go to Mount Samaro. Ajna's getting more and more impatient, and you know, even though we talked to these monks as they recommended, we're like, these guys are just speaking whatever crap comes into their minds, and we don't care. And then they deny us access, and we're like, no, we want to go. And Dar is like, no, you're going to stay. And we're like, no, we're going to go. Just like that. And we develop a new skill on the fly, as per Ajna's always way. So, yeah, she's like, I will not be denied here. She's very, very angry at this moment in time. After a brief little jog, she kind of like, okay, you know what? I've calmed down a little bit, but you have to understand we need to stop Kala. And they're like, I hear you. Okay, it's fine. Watch out for goats, by the way. Get up there, please. Thank you. But now with this new air dive skill, I can spend a lot less time axing things. And more times, like, getting around things. Here's a nifty little skip. So the game wants you to go all the way back through Samaro, but I'm like, you know what? I want to take the advanced route, and that's what we're going to do. We went through a lot of iterations of how to get up there, and we thought the last patch had broken it until that was developed. It was like, okay, great, perfect, thank you. Because no one wants to do the same thing 3 times in a row, and it's more fun to at least take the advanced route just because the platforming looks so slick. That's not what I'm meant to do. Okay, wrong button. Fine. So I'm going to be doing a significant amount of platforming here. If you have anything else that you want to plug, any donations coming through, now is a great time.
Do not have any new donations, but I can definitely plug in some stuff, starting with my phone because it's got a low battery.
Always a good thing.
We have 3 incentives left for the rest of the day. In about 3 hours or so, we'll be doing the new Ghostbusters 2. So, Peter is in last place with $10. Louis got 10, 23. Ray's got 11. Winston is catching up at $16.96. And Egon's still ahead at $20. So if you want to see your favorite Ghostbuster ring as the character of the game, go ahead and do that. And it is the top 2 characters. So there's one player controlled and one AI controlled player. So the top 2 will make it through. And at River City Girls, we've talked a little bit. Misako is leading the way, $30 ahead. And of course, we've got the choice between Mickey and Minnie for the Great Circus Mystery. That's the before last run of the marathon, so you have time. Minnie is ahead by $25.
Excellent. So we just took the roundabout way of getting to, if you remember, this is where we were playing Super Mario Brothers Dodge the Fireball. So we've kind of just circumvented our way all the way around on the outside of Mount Sumeru instead of taking the twisty back and forth path, which was really annoying. Some very intricate platforming to get here, but we're back to where we fought Ravanavar, and Dar takes offense. He doesn't want to learn how to play the sitar, and smashes that reminder of a guy that he considered his father, as such, because he was taken at a very young age by the army and kind of plunged into their world. So betrayal being what it is, he's like, you know what, I'm over this, and smashes the heck out of that thing. We're gonna go ahead and go deeper in here though. Oh goodness, really? Okay, that's fine. I'll just take it the proper way then. I'm gonna try to keep my momentum going here. We're gonna have a lot of cutscenes that I'll be skipping as they're like trying to figure out like, wow, this place is quite interesting and different. And we're gonna find out a little bit more about this from, actually, believe it or not, Tirani. Tirani actually used to be a resident on Mount Sumeru, which is quite a thing. There's a cutscene that does occur later that she's like, yeah, 500 years ago. Oh, that was a bad tap. Thought I had my dash. I didn't. She's like, yeah, I'm super, super old, by the way, if you didn't know. And I used to live here, but Kala has made some decorative changes. And it just gets a little bit more weird from here. But this is ours to introduce all sorts of different things. These little ice blocks that crumble. And try to use them as best we can to just get through things as quickly as possible here. Always lose my momentum on that jumping string. So as we go deeper and deeper and deeper, the platforming just gets more and more complex. And it's kind of this game in a nutshell. Just as you go further along, they do ramp up the platforming skill a bit, just to make sure that you're constantly challenged throughout the run where it doesn't quite get as repetitive. Obviously is a side effect of obviously Ajna just getting more and more abilities.
It kind of reminds me of Ori and the Blind Forest a little bit right now, that kind of plan.
I could see that a little bit. That's a good comparison. As you get the new abilities, things get a little bit more tricky. Oh god, I actually got that. Nice. Okay, that turnaround is super tight, and I was like worried that I wasn't going to get that. It gets really sketchy on whether or not I can actually save myself if I miss that. But these turnarounds just allow so much like sequence breaking, or at least cycle cuts and things like that that you're able to do when they're available. I know many people probably haven't played this game, or it's like currently in their backlogs and whatnot. There's gonna be a part coming up here. I want you to just put out of your mind, if at all possible, because I want you to frustratingly deal with it the way that I ended up doing. So when you see me doing something that's like, wait, what? Just forget about it. Just forget about it. That'll be in at least a few more rooms. So,
Do we need to cut stream? Or?
I mean, sure. You know, if we want to avoid spoilers and whatnot, I'm all about it. No, I'm kidding. You know, we don't need to cut stream. It's a joke. It was very frustrating in my casual playthrough getting this one part. And it's funny is everyone I've talked to, they all did the exact same thing that I did at the time. And when I first saw the what we do now, it's like, wait, that's possible. It's just, and you look at it and you're like, how did I not see that in the first place? So it's really frustrating from that particular front, going from the casual to speedrun experience.
It sounds like you need to play it once blind for sure.
I mean, just for the platforming experience, yes, absolutely. All right, so that's in this room coming up here. This used to be like the biggest pain. This room is huge, and one mistake sends you all the way down to the bottom here. Oops. Speaking of almost one mistake. Okay, we're fine. So, yeah, this right here. You can go this way. I didn't see that in my casual. You don't want to know what I had to do to get through this particular part of the room, and I took a lot of death here. So yeah, just forget you saw that if you're looking to play this anytime soon. That doesn't exist. That used to be the biggest bane in my existence in the early days of the run too. It's just like, oh goodness. Take that a little safer there instead of going for the yellow strat. If I don't make it, I'm actually set back a bit. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think my platforming was just right to get the light up there. Let's try that again. There we go. Ooh, that was scary. It was like the alignment was not good, and I'm like, that's a bed of spikes. We made it. Let's go. So this is officially where Tarani's like, yeah, I don't recognize this place, even though I used to stand on this ledge for hours at a time back in my youth. I'm going to do a quick party switch here. So I'm getting in all of my big IDI generation batteries. That's just to get prepared for what's coming up. It's not about the actual damage. It's about the IDI here. And we're going to need that in droves. Oh, gosh. Okay. I should have just caught the last corner of that. That was scary. Okay. Almost there. Kind of. Sort of. It's a very long climb. Okay, so overall, it's not been a bad Samaro 2. A couple of minor oopsies, but nothing too dramatic. Finally! We made it! Oh! Hi, Kala.
You see? Accept it, little eye.
So Kala's like, yeah, I'm gonna just shove you right back in. You're my missing eye, and I would like to have you back. And now we got this fight. So instead of actually attacking Kala, we're attacking Ajna. Who's losing her absolute mind at this moment. She is just completely gone insanely mad. And can no longer control herself. So we're like, okay, you need to calm down. And the only way we can think of do that is just to punch her whatever over and over and over again. Oh. This fight did not go as well as I would have liked. I shouldn't have seen that attack until after this cutscene skip. It's fine though. Because this is really all just based on the itty generation and not the damage we're dealing. I mean, come on, 28 health bars. What am I supposed to do against that? I'm barely even scratching her right now. At any rate, welcome to an unskippable cutscene. I cannot skip this. I can hit buttons all I want, and this isn't happening. So enjoy this one.
Can you imagine a marathon where everything goes right?
This is true. I mean, to be fair, I'm looking at my splits, and considering the hiccups that I've had, I'm about 4.5 minutes behind my PB, which at an hour and 40 minutes isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's basically PB pace if you ask me.
More or less. So it's not terrible. All right. So Dar, I'm sure he's fine. I am sure Dar is okay, but we're blacked out. She has no recollection of anything that's gone on here. And currently, we're just going to have a little insightful moment as she kind of reflects on what she's done. And we're seeing all the chakra gates that we picked up. And as she thinks about it, she's like, you know, I don't really think that I did this properly and dealt with these things the way that I probably should have. You know, maybe hindsight being what it is. But she's now having a little, you know, insight with herself and a little internal conversation. Kind of learns a little bit more about herself as she's coming more and more to grips with being part of Kala. I have another magical girl transformation I just skipped, and she wakes up and everyone's like, well, those who decided to stick with her after the events that just occurred, because some of them are like, you know what, I'm out. Just forget about it. Not going to be sticking with you. But a few did stick by her side, and we're not going to put anybody in party yet. I need to be very aware of that fact, and in the fact that I don't have anyone should I get pulled into a fight here, and hopefully I won't. But we're back in what's left of her hometown. And try to make our way. In the meantime, you can tell Kala's growing. These weird pod things start showing up everywhere. So it's just a sign that Kala's getting ready to reset the world, to reset the cycle again. And we know that's a bad thing. So we're like, well, the thing is I need to find my friends, and we need to set some things to right again before I deal with that problem. I'm going to try to do this. This is really okay. Whew. That's tight. That guy can be the biggest annoyance in the world. He would just keep you from being able to get through that shortcut without killing him. I don't want to kill him because I'm a little underpowered, to be fair. That would be a very rough fight.
What the heck?
She's kind of ticked off. There's a chakra gate there. This time, I don't care about chakra gates. It's not about that anymore. What we will be discovering, or what I'll be showing here, is that the world is actually interconnected. I know that we used that boat to get around before, but when you have the right abilities, you can actually just walk from area to area. And obviously it would be faster. That and the fact that we don't actually have a boat at this time, since Balsai is nowhere to be found. And there's no dock from our little hometown, or what's left of it anyway. We're gonna, we basically, you can tell by the music, we've made our way back into Tai Krung. And Naga Fighter appears, and he's like, oh yeah, there's big problems. It seems like Garuda Cruel has now taken over the spot that has been vacated by Mara. So we're like, oh, that's not good. Here, we'll help you. So we're gonna bring in Naga One Fighter, as I like to call him. You'll find out why shortly. Right now, I need to focus on keeping my momentum here. Okay, good. He teaches this wonderful movement tech where now I don't need to like do a dash and wait to get the dash back, as I get completely stiffed by the spear as per usual. So it's just good to kind of keep the speed rolling at this particular point. So we're going to be breaking back into the club here to go and take down that, but we got a little sidetrack to do here. This is actually required, even though I don't ever use the character again. We actually need to go over here to pick her up to progress the story. The elevators will not work until you do. Welcome home, Tirani. So of course she'd be here. She really wanted to make sure that these people were taken care of, and she's been trying to treat all the people that are dealing with the Oma addiction. The problem is that Garuda Cruel is still pushing more and more Oma into the space. So we got to completely bring that to a halt if we're ever going to get things under control here. And that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to fix things rather than just blowing through it like a bull in a china shop. But I am going to take this little side trip for a extra character. And I like using Naga One Fighter for this particular fight, obviously, just because he does decent damage. At the same time, he's probably my best option given the limited options within my party here. So we're going to use him to decent effect here. And then after that, he's done. That's why I call him Naga One Fighter, because he's literally here for one fight. And then that's it. I need to make sure that I take out this other jerk. Go. Oh, wow. And these guys hurt. If you didn't notice, the damage output is significantly increased this far in. This is kind of scary in a way, because if I make too many mistakes, we're going to wipe, and that's not good. At any rate, I'm bringing in Yan. I know we just picked her up, and she's got like a 1 affinity. But you know what? She is totally worth it. So that's what we're going to do. We got a nice dancer who's been kept in a cage to dance for Mara, and then was completely forgotten after we killed him. Also, again, about dive kick. Who's a fan? Level 2. Yeah. Level 2 Itty is the dive kick attack. And as a homage to that game, he is easily defeated by a single dive kick, as per the game. Sorry. It's just that's a funny Easter egg I love pointing out.
I've never played it, but apparently it's still popular.
Yeah, I've never played it either. I just know it exists.
It's like tying your arms together and fighting.
Pretty much,
your
yeah.
best friend.
Oops. Did not kill my momentum there. That's interesting. All right. So, again, we're just kind of going through here, but now our new abilities allow us to do different shortcuts than we were before. So rather than going through or up above the roofs, we can now just break into the club from here. And we're going to do that. Because, again, we're trying to make our way to Mr. Garuda Cruel, who's, again, at the top of the tower. Or the top of the palace, I guess you could say. A lot of back and forth here. We are going to have a bit of an interruption right about here. So our good friend Tungar, who we've not actually had in party like once yet, recognizes this, and this is kind of like the spirits and the ghosts of the soldiers and comrades of his country. And he's not very happy to see them in this particular one. They're very unhappy. But we are going to try to calm these spirits. Obviously, the best way to calm spirits is by beating the crud out of them, apparently. This guy's attacks are also kind of hard to predict, which is annoying. Oh, shoot. Forgot he was out of bullets. It's fine. All right. Getting set up for another big blast here. Actually, what I don't want to do is actually do the big blast if I can avoid it. Because what I want to do is save up my itty for the next upcoming fight, which is significantly less impressive looking, but also is the biggest pain in the rear, and it's the one that I'm fearing the most. This one can kind of death cycle me, and I really don't want to see that happen in the marathon. So I'm just going to battery up here a little bit. There we go. All right, so we skip that cutscene. I'm going to bring in a new party config. Oh wait, no, Tungar, you need to be up there, and Zabe down here. So we're gonna bring in Fish Girl, Leilani. She has a singular purpose, and I'm hoping that I can use that before she gets completely wrecked. This fight sucks. Good. So it's very interesting in the speedrunning community and the people that run this game. Everyone's got a different philosophy on how to deal with this fight. This is my preferred method, in the fact that I do about 3/4 of their health in the first round of attacks. So I prefer this method because I just go in full aggressive, but Leilani, because of how she works, leaves herself extremely vulnerable. So I really only get the one, like, actual use out of her. And I'm hoping that it's enough because these blocks, these guys hurt a lot. And I just don't want to die from here. Oh gosh, and the timing for these guys is so hard. I'm going to get a second one of these, which is nice. Hi Leilani, you did well, girl. Gosh, it's getting really scary if I don't start getting perfect blocks here. Oh, we're fine. That's all I needed. Phew. All right, good. That's the one fight that I've been scared of this entire run. And we got through that pretty good, actually. Wasn't perfect, but I will take that one any day versus the alternative. All right, so we're making it back to the roof where we fought Garuda Cruel last time. Go figure, he's still here. I'm an idiot for not doing things proper. Let's try that again. Basically, it's second oh gosh, I didn't change my party. Oh, you know what? I am gonna restart my checkpoint. I'm an idiot. I forgot to switch my party out. I looked at that, I was like, who are these people? Oh, that's not who I wanted. You can switch in fight, but oh my gosh, is that painful. They are punished by a long wait time to get like their first actions, and it costs you a bunch of itty. I think you are set. Let's go. Well, I can get the bullets in. I should have waited just a little bit longer for the trailing itty to get in there, but it's fine. Battery up. Ooh, gotcha. He has no tell, so it's just basically a spam and pray there. And gotcha. Let's go. Latigo is just too OP. All right, so we've taken out the main head of the Oma production. Now, with our help and our new powers and abilities, we're gonna team up with Tirani here to kind of have a healing rain cleanse the city. And this will go a long way to curing the problems that happened here. So we've actually righted like all the wrongs like we should have in the first place. But you know, we were pig-headed, strong, and we were only focused on like the one thing that really mattered to us at the time. So we're going to sneak back here and use our nice little chakra gate system. Teleport. Got to take a quick little stop back to the Tower of Wisdom just to check in with Ongwu. And Ongwu is not here. Her assistant tells us, yeah, she's over in Canul right now. You might want to go see what's going on there. So we're like, okay, let's go to Canul. Apparently bad things are happening here. Obviously, as the entire population is all the way down at the bottom of the location. So the queen is now still, again, trying to seal, but for a good reason. They are under attack by something called the Obsidian Wind. And she's trying to keep the people safe. And we're like, this is kind of our fault, isn't it? And everyone's like, yep, this is totally your fault. So we're gonna try to fix and, you know, just set things to right here if we can. Always stutter step that one because that guy is... Never know exactly when he's there. In the meantime, you'll notice I got yet another piece of movement tech where my dash now goes in directions. Press the direction, I go that way. Oops, that's not how that works. So it makes a, you know, little extra movement tech available. Nice, all right. Usually I take 1 or 2 spike hits there, but not today, it looks like. Oh, I got baited again. Every time with that waterfall. You don't go to the top there, there's a ceiling. You're not going anywhere. And I always fall for it every time. I'm running this game for nearly 2 years is like still fall for it. Yeah, we're now playing Celeste because we're going up instead of down. All right, so she's like, yeah, there's a problem. I'm using this shield to protect my people, but it's not going to hold. We're like, we're going to go up here. I know you can't really trust us since we pounded you in the face last time that we met, but just trust us. We'll deal with this. And we find out it's Zitzi, actually. She has become corrupted by Kala's bleeding power, so we gotta knock some sense into her. Nothing like a good old axe to the face to do that, so that's what we're gonna do. And, you know, maybe a few bullets. Okay, that should trigger it. Yep. Well, this goes in phases, so I'm trying to hit specific HP points to advance the progression of this. Get loaded up for the next big round here, leaving that one blue bullet as important as usual. I mean, I think Zitzi should have known what was coming. This is the exact, well, except for Jan. This is pretty much the same party that just beat her down at the docks way back in the first time that we were around. All right, this should be enough to finish this fight off. Again, it's not about killing her, it's just about hitting HP thresholds. And that was the HP threshold. So they teach us one more vital skill. Hey, I saved a minute on that split. Let's go. Good platforming, I think, helped a ton there. Let's go.
Last place on the list.
All right, so the queen's like, you did it. the people should be free, and I agree, but I'm still worried. Kala is still a big threat, and that's all I've been caring about, is the fact that Kala would come and destroy my people if I didn't do my part. And like, yeah, we apologize for having punched you in the face when really all you were doing was trying to protect your people. She's like, well, I don't like you still, but at least you did us a solid here. And you're thinking, hey, be quicker if you went to the docks to get out of here. Why, yes, it would be if I had a boat. We still don't have a boat. So we have to go all the way back down here to get to the chakra gate. I'm glad I hit that. That looks so smooth when I do that.
I don't know how you'll get a boat to go back that way.
Well, again, chakra gates. We have a teleport system, and that's what we're going for. But yeah, you're right. Why would you go underground to get a boat? Well, it's not so much. It's not really about a boat. Okay. Just more like getting out of here. That said, we do need a boat. We cannot get to. If you try to teleport into Iron Kingdom, you are completely blocked off. There is still one more skill that we absolutely need to have to be able to progress. So the boat is necessary. Hi, Phoebe. Bye, Phoebe. She used to be part of the speed run. No longer. She's just not quite as good as she could have been, based on new strats that were found and whatnot. So we would find Batsai at the usual spot. She's at the bar, of course. Oh, wow, I bonked there. What? All right, now that we've got a pirate, we just need our boat. So we got to run all the way back to the docks. Hi, Phoebe. Bye, Phoebe. I always at least like to acknowledge her existence, even though she's going to sit there. A lot of the characters that you can pick up in this game, and I am skipping a bunch. Don't even think that I'm not. There are a lot of characters that I'm actually skipping out on. It just takes forever to get them to join, because you got to do things for them, side quests and whatnot, and it's just not worth it for the value. So it's a sad thing, a sad state of affairs. This is why I highly recommend you really explore the casual, because there are so many different characters, each with their own story and nuance, and it's great. We find Kadira here. She's been here looking for her brother, which she's been wanting since like the moment we picked her up out of the desert. And we also find the traitor Kanpan, who now suddenly wants to help us after, betraying us before. Well, I don't know if we trust her. But we're gonna make our way through these sewers, trying to figure out, like, how do we fix the Iron Kingdom? It's obviously got problems. It's like, okay, all this pink slime is just getting worse. The people are unrestful. Like, there's huge unrest with the populace. And the rumor is that there is some like creature that's kind of at the center of all of this distribution at this point. So that's not how that works, Nori. Kanpan's been helping us break some of this stuff, and we're like, yeah, I guess you can join us. Even though you stabbed us in the back earlier, I guess it's okay. Maybe. But now Ashton's like, you know what? I don't need you to do this anymore. I'm going to devise a new technique. And now we got up smash. So now we can break our own blocks and not have to worry about her doing it for us. Get the runway. It's a very tight place to try to get a charge off, but it works. Ah, those spikes every time. True final boss for me there. Okay, whew. Those spikes right there, getting through that wall is like the bane of my existence. And usually every time I do a run of this, something happens there and we end up getting juggled a little bit. I got away with that one. I'm not going to complain. Let's go. It means we get to the end of this quicker, right? Right.
That's how speedruns work.
Pretty much. All right, so we finally broke it in. Here's where the chakra gate is, and this is why we couldn't have gotten through had we taken it, because we needed that up smash ability to even get in here. So that's why we had to take the scenic route. It's unfortunate, but it's, you know, a necessity. So obviously things haven't been cleaned up here at all. We've got to get through this yet a different way. And we're going to do just that. Oops, forgot to slide there.
We're gonna have to get the Ghostbusters later.
Yeah, it's starting to look like, you know, like Ghostbusters 2 in here. It's a river of slime. Good thing we got that run coming up. Oh, darn, we didn't make the cycle here. It happens. You try to beat this lava cycle. I'm not sure exactly when it starts, but it's really annoying to miss, or kind of annoying to get around. It just kind of is what it is. Wasn't sure I was going to get around that corner or not. We did. We did it. All right. Roof. We made it to the roof. Here is our problem. Giant Slime Queen. This fight is kind of bad. You'll notice I just did a ton of damage to myself by attacking her. This is the unfortunate side effect of this boss. We're just going to go ahead and get the damage out while we can, and then I'm going to get prepped here. So she's poisonous, and that's why Jan just like took all of that damage. It's just kind of a side piece, but the thing is you're not actually going to die from it. You will end up at like 1 HP, and that's just the way it is. But at a certain point here, like, we're going to be kicked out of this fight and get to do some different things. I'm glad Ashna keeps missing every time I do that, by the way. It's actually working in my favor, like right now. This is to teach us one, I keep saying this, one final ability, right? It's like you think you've learned everything, and then the game's like, no, you get to learn one more thing. Now I'm gonna hope that she actually is aggressive. Thank you. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, not that per se. I really wanted to dive right in with Latigo, of course. Not a bad round of damage that time. Let's go. Wow, that was rude. Oh, you don't have an attack right now. That's not good. Oh, now you will. Now you do. And just mash to win with that attack, and yeah. I'm glad she hasn't kicked me out. Normally, she will try to do the whole, like, I'm going to turn into a giant block of tofu thing again. Ow, bye, Jan. Fine. You did good, girl. Latigo's got this. We've done our part. So now this fixes a lot of the slime. We've kind of taught the queen here a bit of a lesson. So she's like, I'm going to do right by the people, and we're going to start by cleaning up the slime, and I'm going to stop invading other countries. And yeah, that was going to happen. So we've kind of fixed all of our all of the things that we've done wrong. Tai Krung is back under control. This is all great and good. So that said, now I think we're worthy to go ahead and face our final challenge, which is going to be good old Kala. Now remember, we crashed into Lawn as that big monster, and yeah, things are not good here, so we've got to take a different route. The cool part is you get like this side quest that you're able to use to... Oops, what have I done there? Hi, Launchy. Bye, Launchy. So yeah, we're like, well, it's back to Samara again. Everyone's thinking in chat, oh no, not Samaro again. Yeah, unfortunately. Can I get a D in chat for Dar?
I never.
Nobody liked him, but he's dead. Rejoice. He actually was starting to become a decent human being right when all that happened. But, you know, it is what it is. He's out of there. So that skip we did earlier, this is when the game actually would intend you to be like, oh yeah, you can go this way. Like I said, we just did it early because we could. And it was technically fast. It's actually faster to do it. So this will be kind of second verse, same as the first, other I'm just going to be like avoiding some of the other stuff. So now, a good friend, would be a wonderful time. You've got any other things that you would like to talk about, plug for the marathon, donations, all that good stuff.
There are no current new donations, but I do want to give a shout out once again to the group for reaching the $4,000 mark, which was, I want to say, unexpected at the time that it happened. So yeah, apparently Strizer has told us that the next goal, if we reach this one, is going to be the marathon PB. So if you guys want to see a marathon PB, let's force Strizer to put that up on the donation tracker. And yeah, so this is like the final stretch of the run, right?
Yeah, well, this is the final stretch. We're basically off to our, oh shoot, don't do that. We're off to go face Kala again, but you know, Samara 3 being what it is, we're gonna be here a while, so because we have all of the outside to do, which we're doing number 2 right now currently. And we haven't even made it to, actually, this is still Sumera 1, technically, on the map. We got a bit to go here, but I just have to keep platforming. So I say there's not really a lot to talk about. This is a lot of stuff that you've seen. It'll be a while before we even see what Sumera 3 looks like. It's kind of the thing, so.
Yeah, I do agree with some of the chat viewers were saying that this is starting to turn into like a Celeste kind of game.
Yeah, it's and this part is probably the most Celeste-like in the fact that it's just gonna get crazy. Like the things that I'm gonna have to do to be able to platform through here, especially at speed, it gets a little crazy. On what the way this was designed. But I do have new abilities, so we're gonna try to make the most of those abilities to try to take our shortcuts where we can. That's ultimately the goal there.
How difficult is the game in terms of inputs? Like, is a lot of this automatically easily done, or do you have to use like frame perfect or near perfect stuff?
Oh no, it's designed in a way that's it doesn't need like frame perfect or anything. Like it's a very smooth game in the way it works, and I think like the current world record holder, I believe, is a keyboard user. I think this game kind of lends itself to be a little bit more advantageous to keyboard users, and the fact that you're able to do the multi inputs to really make the most out of your combos, versus a controller like I do. I do the best I can, but my times are kind of pale in comparison when you really start to see kind of how they're designed and what really happens here. But the inputs and stuff like that, very lenient, even with the platforming. Like there's some tricky stuff that you got to do, but it's not impossible. Here's an example of one of those shortcuts we're going to use. Here's another one that the game probably didn't think about. I'm going to take advantage of. That trims off a big chunk of fat here. That's really what this climb is all about is, hey, we did show you this earlier, but you didn't really have a way of taking advantage of it. Now's the time to do so. And the game is actually really good with the way the camera panned in and out to show that off.
But the run itself is relatively glitchless, right?
Yeah, there used to be some things that we could do. There is a way of getting out of bounds. Unfortunately, once you're out of bounds, you can't get back in bounds. So it is extremely glitchless on that front. Like, we'll exploit a few things in the way the platforming works, but in the overall scheme of things, yeah, this game is 100% glitchless. Except for
So it's like it turns into Metro Prime once you're out of the walls and you just stay out.
yeah. You know, I mean, it's really gross. Like we were hoping to find like all sorts of skips, especially with the new game plus that came out in a patch. And no, the triggers and things like that this game has really solidifies this game, so you can't even really skip content. Unfortunate, but it's still a fun run regardless. You know, if you're a big fan of platforming, this game is right up your alley.
I'm a big fan of the music.
Yeah, the music is
listening to the OST because I can't listen to the game directly. But yeah, I'm really liking Anja's themes or Ajna's theme. I also like the Iron Age theme. I don't know which area. Also gives different ages to the game, so that's also pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, 61 tracks. You said about 50 earlier.
Yeah, I was maybe wrong, but yeah, it's just a huge OST, and we're not even like we're hearing what we hear, but we're not even hearing like a tithe of what this game has to offer musically.
I think that's the only downfall, honestly, of speedrunning is usually it's at the detriment of losing out on the soundtracks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
gunning through stages.
Yeah, the advantage is at least the tracks you get to hear here, you're spending so much time in these areas that at least you're not going to be missing out on that front. As you can start to see, things are starting to look a little weird. We're actually beyond where we met Kala 2, or Kala. So now we are finally in Sumeru 3. This is the deep domain of Kala. So this is where things get really fun platforming wise. I'm gonna back off of that one. That was not even close. Can I make that? Yes, I can. Okay, let's go.
Axis, it's easy if you run the game at 360 FPS. It'll go really fast.
Yeah, exactly. Axis, that's how it works. I just skipped a checkpoint there. If I take a fall here, that's going to be very painful. All right, I didn't. I'm going to grab that checkpoint just so I don't make it worse on myself if I make a mistake. You see, this area is just absolutely massive in size. There's just a lot going on here. Got to do the extra up I needed to get up there. Oh no! Oh god, I didn't think that was gonna make it. Oh, woo! That was probably the last possible frame to be able to hit that. Let's go. So we're getting near-ish the end. We got one more little thing to deal with here, and then we'll be going into our final fights, more or less. I'm going to use this opportunity to go ahead and get myself stocked up for Kala. Well, for things to come. Okay, you've got plenty of bullets, so we're good there. Hopefully I can get these guys taken down. These guys are such a pain. Their attacks are quick. They're annoying. Oh, wow. Nice try, buddy, but you were way off base there. All right. Get these guys out of the way. It'll be our final level up. We got a little bit more platforming to do. So I'm going to just say that, like, you've seen, like, the platforming here. There's actually a challenge in the game that I didn't really talk about. And there's a super boss somewhere hidden in the game. And the platforming segment for that is absolutely crazy. Like, you think that any of this looks difficult to try to reach the super boss. That fight is a lot of fun, though. I highly recommend anyone who does play it to seek that out. You pick up the kind of knowledge of that existing in Taikrong, and that's all I'm going to say. Alright, little shortcut here. Nailed it first try, and we are at the top. So we are now at Kala's more or less palace. And, oh, hi, Dar. So we're just gonna beat up on good old Dar here. It's not really him. He's more of a shadow of himself. Kala is basically taunting Ajna, going, you know, you've made it all the way here. Also, Dar is a nice guy, and he actually fills up my itty for me. I appreciated him doing that. I don't know if that was intended or not, but it's hilarious. Up here's Dad, as we saw him in the opening cutscene. Yeah, Kala's just playing mind games with Ajna right now, going, you are going to become part of me again. We are going to reset the cycle. And she's just really rubbing it in on like all the pain that Ajna's had to go through throughout the entire experience to this point. I was a little slow getting that button there. All right. And Ravanavar. Just kidding. She's like, okay, that's enough. You just caught her out of the shower, I guess. I don't know, whatever that ensemble is, but there's still voices telling us that we aren't ready, but Ajna finally hits true inner peace. And now we can fly. So again, in the vein of one final skill, I now have the power of basically infinite flight at the cost of my health. And that's what this segment's about. Sonic Spinball style. I'm going to try to avoid hitting these things as much as possible just because they slow you down. It's funny when you do because you just body them full on. But again, for the sake of speed, as long as you don't run out of health, you can make it. It would stop at like 1 HP basically. All right, so we are hatching True Kala. This begins our final fight. She's going to do everything in her power to keep me from beating up on her. Really annoying, but that's what it is. And then she tries to absorb us, but we're like, you know what? You need a migraine headache, and we're going to give her one. Okay, good. We loaded up fine here. I'm not going to go like all crazy on a lot of things here. We're just going to do a lot of just standard hits, because this is really about getting through it. Oh, nice mid-air block there. That's tricky. I got lucky there. Can't do it in the middle of an attack, obviously, but I'm more about just hitting her just to get her to get to these particular phases here. Alright, so we have to start up this way with this one. 2, 3, 4. And then all out. We can get loaded with bullets again. That was slow. Ah. I should have waited that one out. That's okay. Man, that mash fest. Ow. I am mashing like a madman to get that taken care of as quickly as possible.
That's impressive. I'm a terrible masher. That's why I play Game Boy games.
You know, it's funny. I mean, at my age, I feel it. And depending on what happens, I've got another marathon run later today. It's a different marathon, but there's a bid war for it. And depending on the mode that gets picked, I may have to do more mashing. Oh, this will be fun if I'm going to...
bucket of ice.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to have to get my arm just really calm down after that one. After this one. All right, we're almost there for her. This is not time, though, so just be aware we are not done yet. Let's try Kala. Got you on that one. Wow, can you please? It's too early.
Destiny is against you.
Okay. Nope. Ah, well. Should be okay. Actually, it's all I needed. All right, so she's not happy.
Is that it?
Obviously, we're denying her in ways that no one ever had, but, you know, being part of her, not a big surprise. She wants to kill us. We go into our inner sanctum as the only safe place to be. Now, this is normally where you'd have your little sad goodbyes, but you know what? No one's got time for goodbyes. So they're all coming with us. And we have a goddess to kill. So, as typical RPG fashion is, we gotta go kill, you know, the unkillable. Kala's not happy. Like I said, 108 health bars.
I must achieve perfection. Ha! Not gonna happen. Not
Now here, I don't really have an offense. I have defense. So she's expending her own life to try to kill me. And that's basically where we're at. She's just trying to take me out so that she can not really kill. I guess she wants to absorb me again. Wow, why am I so bad at dodging all this? So she's expending her life and I've just got to be on the defensive. Ugh, that's a big attack. Scary. All right, we're almost halfway there. This is a big important one to get. Good. Whew. That one scares me. If I miss that, we'd probably start over on this part. So, brief conversation. She's like, you know what? I am done with you.
enough of that.
Blocking. This one's important. I missed any one of these, we're dead. Cool. All right, time is coming up very shortly. She expends her life on final input. That's it. Time.
GG.
Yeah, it's all about the defense in that particular segment. And I trust me, I died a lot in my casual. It took a long time to get good at that. But we did it. This is an unskippable cutscene, but they're going to have a little heart-to-heart, these two. And things will happen. If you want to use this opportunity to get a little bit back ahead of schedule, we don't have to spoil everyone with the ending.
Well, I do want to mention that the time that we have here is at 2:30, 2:13. I'm sure yours are a little off, but I'm curious if you did manage to PB because it looked like you were on a good.
I did not. I got a 2:32:07, and that's only 5 minutes off my PB, which has been way better than like all of my practice. So a lot of things went really well. There were still a lot of mistakes, but I will take 5 minutes over PB on a run this long.
All right, I would too. I would too. So if somebody wants to speedrun this game, is it all on SRC or is there a better resource site?
Yeah, there is SRC. We do have a page there. There's a link to our Discord. Like I say, it's a woefully, very just criminally small community. we definitely would love to have new people come in and give us some new perspectives and different thoughts. Like, and it's kind of segmented too. Like, this game has individual levels with the DLC, the Rosmi trials. You can do individual level stuff like that. We've got a percent or like a category for the super boss, which has its own platforming gauntlet. That's like a 3-minute category. There are all kinds of just like little ways that you can run this game. And, you know, I guess the one thing that no one's ever really tackled is 100%, and I don't blame them. This is a big game. And it would take a very insane person to want to do that. But hey, if that's your thing, more than welcome. And that's what I would say is a free world record. But you know, I want to give shout outs to 8-Bit Mischievous, who he did kind of sort of run this game, but he's our biggest cheerleader. He's the one who is always around to really bolster the spirits of everyone. You know, the Discord is really quiet these days, but occasionally we pop in and just say hi to everyone and make sure everyone's doing well. Rodrigo, who was the second place guy ahead of me on the leaderboard, you know, Mexican runner, does not speak English all that well. He's a phenomenal guy. And then our Japanese runner, whom I've not had any interaction with, who's our world record holder, at least in the main any percent category. Like, we're kind of it. And then I want to give shout outs specifically to Symphonian64, who was the initial kind of like god at this game until the patches kind of took the fun away from him. He found a lot of the strats, and the community as a whole came together and really came up with different ways of how to deal with all the different challenges with the platforming and even some of the fights that the game throws at us. And it's been a community effort to really determine like who's the best win to use and things like that. So, you know, for small as we are, it's a rather, well, I won't say tight-knit community these days because not much going on, but I still try to get this game out there when I can. I know there's a little bit of a stigma around this game, but if you separate that stigma from this game itself, this game is absolutely beautiful, and I recommend it to anybody and everybody. So that would be my spiel. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. This game looks great and looks like the controls are tight and everything. And the chat was in agreement with that too. So if you aren't already, please make sure to follow Noramaki _ SR. The link is in the chat. And we're gonna take a turn for retro in the next run. We're gonna do some Star Fox 64. So make sure you stick around for this iconic game, and we'll listen to the music and we'll be right back.